I want to say the Bitcoin and Cardano charts are heating up, but look at this Bitcoin chart on the weekly. This is Bitcoin. Out of all my years doing technical analysis on this YouTube channel, this is one of the few times I've seen the weekly chart so sideways, indecisive, and boring. If you actually zoom out on the Bitcoin chart, the last time that it's kind of been like this, and I can almost remember this, was actually back here. This was around $6,000. It was consolidating, and it was November 2018, right before the huge bear market low. I'm not saying we're going to get a move to the downside like that, but that's the last time I saw like these weekly candles, nothing's happening, but a big move getting ready to happen. We're in a different part of the cycle right now, so I'm not going to speculate and say, hey, we're going down, but I do want to go over the Bitcoin targets, where we are on the charts right now in terms of the consolidation. I really hope it's almost over, the consolidation. I mean, I was wrong somewhere back here or something. I thought this was not going to turn into this sideways consolidation, and it did. But we're going to go over some targets there. ADA, very similar thing. ADA is a pressure cooker right now. That is the simplest way to put it. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be some downside. It is testing insane resistance still. I want to go over the ADA charts and talk about all of the things that are in play for ADA and just track the markets right now. So hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and let's start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin on the weekly chart, one thing I just want to point out is we're above all the moving averages. So the 200 moving average, just note this, just above $25,000. It's an important number to remember for the video and for targets that we have for Bitcoin. The other thing is we're clearly consolidating above this upper trend line of the rising channel and this resistance area that we tracked for Bitcoin. So we're in this consolidation phase. This is what it looks like. This is how the story has progressed. I don't know if you remember, this was mid-March. This was March 17th, this video. We were speculating, anticipating Bitcoin getting into this range. You see the consolidation range as it's breaking that upper trend line. And then this was like, I think this one is the day before that video, but check this quick clip out. It's this area up to around $29,000 to $30,000. So this area up here, if Bitcoin explodes through this trend line and we get another breakout for Bitcoin, I'm looking for consolidation up in this area, right? And even so, we're in that consolidation right now. I mean, it's happening. It's playing out perfectly from a technical analysis perspective. But considering things that have been going on, I recently was saying I don't think we're going to see this sideways. I think there's going to be a bigger move sooner than later, and I was wrong about that. But put that aside. Let's talk about what's up with Bitcoin right now. So Bitcoin, notice on this daily chart, the 20-day moving average. So I want to talk about downside first because from a technical analysis perspective, the warning signs are there. And I just want to throw that out there right now. The warning signs for downside are there right now. The target, $25,000 to the downside out of this consolidation pattern. And we've seen this move previously, right? So on the daily, I want to show you the move, but on the 6 hour, I'm going to really illustrate the move for you because we saw it back here. But 20-day moving average support right now, look where we were before. 20-day moving average support before that last consolidation fall, and then 20-day moving average support before that consolidation fall. This didn't mean there wasn't going to be bullishness in play after the fall, and so the same is true right now. It doesn't mean there's not going to be bullishness after consolidation, but the warning signs are starting to really line up for Bitcoin. Notice as it's breaking down each time, the 20-day moving average, notice what's happening on the stock RSI. You can see Bitcoin has fallen into the oversold on the stock RSI. And while it's even down there for a while, this is right where it falls below the 20-day to its target. And then same thing. I don't know what the target was back then or what pattern there was in play, but it was the fall of consolidation. Here's the stock RSI here, falling into oversold and falling away from the 20-day moving average. Here we are again. We're in oversold on the stock RSI, quicker moving momentum oscillator. And we also even have this, and let me try and open this up because this is ridiculously small. But you have this MACD line crossing the signal line, as was the case these previous times, right? So MACD line even crossing the signal line on this momentum oscillator. And you can see Bitcoin happening right now, testing the 20-day moving average, similar to these previous falls, right? So that's in play. But let me show you what it looks like kind of more zoomed in. This is a 6 hour chart. The perfect illustration, we can just take our bars pattern and we can look at this consolidation area right back here in January up to the swing high. And then there's the fall back down. Look at that entire move. Check this out. Let's move it over to where Bitcoin is right now. So we have Bitcoin. It's almost perfect. It's almost identical. Look at this consolidation back here, swing to the upside, little dip back to this trend line, pop back up. And right now we're kind of at this point. It's very similar to what we just looked at in terms of timing at that 20-day moving average, stock RSI oversold. And now we have this move set up. And you can just see to the downside, where's that taking us? Right around $25,000. That's the target area. On the daily chart, we saw what it looks like on the weekly. It's around the 200-week moving average. It makes sense to revisit that area. On the daily chart, it's right around the 50-day moving average. Also makes sense if Bitcoin wants to consolidate back down to that very key moving average and allow all the moving averages to just consolidate, converge within each other as we're in this bullish territory. So Bitcoin could fall, and then we can just make our way to the upside. It could surpass this target a little bit, fall below. We have a higher low Fibonacci support right there if things are going to get out of hand in the dip, if it happened. I'm going to touch on this briefly because I know it's no fun. I mean, there's way less engagement on bearish videos like this, but I'm going to touch on the upside, right? In terms of the consolidation, if there is support at the 20-day moving average, if Bitcoin does actually just do something different than what happened back here and not fall to a target and actually does start moving up, breaks this trend line right around it's right around $29,000. I know we say 30,000 is big resistance area, and it is, but that area right around 29,000, Bitcoin starts making a move above that area, we're gonna start looking at a potential bullish breakout where Bitcoin just gives us a very strong bullish signal if that happens. And so $29,000 to the upside, around $1,000 to the upside right now, breakout target right around $32,000. And this could be the continued story for Bitcoin to hit that $40,000 sooner rather than later if we're falling down here. So that's Bitcoin. That's an update. We're going to continue tracking it. It is so stinking crazy how sideways it is, but hopefully a big move gets ready to happen soon. ADA, this is what we're looking at on the ADA charts. Weekly chart, just so smooth. Just look at this, breaking above that green line, the 20-week moving average, falling back to the 20-week and showing support at the 20-week moving average. Upside potential on the RSI, which is a slower moving momentum oscillator, as we put in this bear market low back here. So much room and potential for upside. That's why any downside, it just doesn't even concern me on the RSI. Consolidation is fine. And note the stock RSI, it is overbought, but in bullish environments, that's just usually what happens. And take this for example, the last bull market, you can see Cardano ADA very overbought for a good amount of time with consolidations along the way. And here's the most recent consolidation on the stock RSI, right? So back to the 20-week. And those consolidations are okay to anticipate. Let's start zooming in and talking about what is going on. And most of you, if you've been watching my ADA technical analysis, you know what's going on. I mean, there's so much resistance, and it all stems back to this swing high in November, to this swing low, bear market low, this green channel of resistance, ADA still has not broken above it, meaning we still haven't put in this macro higher high, right? So meaning here's the lower high, we're trying to break that with a higher high. This failed, really. This failing right now, even to break this one, right? So we're waiting for a close somewhere up here above 40 cents or something, and it's at this resistance area. Now, all while that's happening, it is important to note that the moving averages are converging so nicely, and there is potential for ADA to revisit those areas. So we start zooming in on the picture for ADA, and this is what we're looking at. We're in this rising channel, which can be looked at as bearish, but in bullish environments, and we're going to start, I think, getting a sense of this in a more consistent fashion. This could be bullish setup, right? And let me explain that. In a bullish environment, higher highs and higher lows, they lead to even more higher highs and higher lows. This is a 6-hour chart, and I'm going to zoom all the way out. And what I want to do is I just want to scroll all the way back here, exiting COVID, for instance, higher highs, higher lows, consistently over and over again. This is a 6-hour chart. Here we are exiting the last bear market. Check it out. Higher highs, higher low channel, breakout to the upside. And it's just higher highs, higher lows. That's like this bullish environment. And this channel even looks very similar to the channel that we're in right now coming out of this bear market. So that's something to keep in mind, but that doesn't mean there won't be big consolidations along the way. Target to the downside for ADA is the lower end of this channel. So if Bitcoin's falling to $25,000, 25, 26,000, a move for ADA to fall down here in this 36-cent range or even lower, we have a higher low Fibonacci in red, you see there, 35-cent range, 10% dip, maybe even more aggressive, just kind of falling through all of that support briefly before popping up, kind of a pullback to the lower trend line of the channel to see if we can re-enter the channel. That move is in play for ADA right now, and I think it's wise to just keep that in mind with the current state of Bitcoin, crypto, Cardano, markets in general, because you can just see ADA is very sideways here on this 6-hour RSI in the middle. It's not overbought, it's not oversold. So a move, a break below all of this consolidation and sideways support could happen very quickly for ADA to kind of fall into the oversold territory or slightly close to it before bouncing back to the upside. If Bitcoin, crypto, they're just like, they continue bullish. There's upside potential. You see all of the resistance that we've been tracking for ADA. It is right here. It is right here, 40 cents. Right now, ADA is at just over 39 cents. This is the range. And you can see this green line right here. That's the inverse head and shoulders, a very large inverse head and shoulders neckline for ADA. So if ADA is going to make a move through that area and start tracking up towards this upper trend line, we might be getting a very, very nice bullish confirmation for ADA. We have a shorter term target out of the channel, 50 cents. And then I believe the target out of that inverse head and shoulders, I'm zooming out and all weird on this 6-hour chart, excuse me, but I believe is right around 60 cents or so breakout target for the inverse head and shoulders. And this is what the inverse head and shoulders looks like if there's a breakout. But the resistance is there. It's true, and it is strong. So that's what I'm going to be watching on the short term. Everything's just sideways and boring. And this is the only thing we can do is track it, anticipate downside, anticipate upside. That's all I'm here for. I'm tracking my journey, tracking the charts with you, and anticipating everything. I appreciate each and every one of you who's watching right now through all of the boringness, and I hope you're having a good week. Hit the subscribe and like. I will see you in the next video. God bless.